New reaction tonight at 11 as the saga of the disgraced Bitwise CEOs comes to a close. Jake Soberall and Irma Olguin Jr. are now set to spend years in federal prison after pleading guilty for a wire fraud scheme and the theft of $115 million. KC24's Catherine Phillips spoke with a former employee and has reaction tonight from city leaders after the former CEOs learned their fate today in court. Catherine.
Well, Jason and Emily, 9 years in prison for Irma Olguin Jr. and 11 years for Jake Soberall. Many former employees who were furloughed and then laid off without any notice packed into the federal courthouse downtown today. One I spoke with says it was emotional seeing their former bosses in the courtroom.
I really, trusted them. Yeah, what they were telling us.
Jen Guerra once worked at Bitwise and believed in not just the company, but in Jake Soberall and Irma Olguin Jr. The company marketed themselves as a leader in revolutionizing tech in cities that weren't typically tech-heavy, focusing on coding and real estate. But all that changed in May of 2023 when Guerra says her paychecks started bouncing, and she and her co-workers were placed on furlough without warning.
I got into debt, unfortunately. I was pretty much debt-free, and then, I had to get into some debt for that.
It was then when Guerra and 900 other employees learned Bitwise was out of money. Federal prosecutors say Soberall and Olguin knowingly lied to investors about how much money the company had before using the money on themselves and loved ones, on why the company was going broke, not paying taxes, and soon unable to make payroll. Guerra was in the courtroom when the sentences were handed down.
At least they did publicly acknowledge what they did, and even in the courtroom they did. Both of them spoke, and Irma cried, and it was pretty emotional. So, there's some people that never admit to their crimes, and that's horrible in itself, but they actually admitted to it. So there's something there.
City Council member Mike Kerbasi showing no mercy for Soberall and Olguin, adding he hopes seeing this kind of fraud coming to light doesn't sway investors looking to fund legitimate businesses in the valley.
I think it says the system does work, that you can't perpetuate a Ponzi scheme from the very start and shroud it in wokeness and think you're going to get away with it. They got exactly what they deserved.
Mayor Dyer really kept his comments short on the matter today, saying he is glad the situation can now be behind us. As from Guerra, the employee you heard from, she is back on her feet. She has her own massage business and a tech company. Well, Soberall and Olguin have 90 days to turn themselves in. Live in the studio tonight, Catherine Phillips, KC24, local news that matters.